with us because her uncle just died. But the first thing, so having been called to order, the first thing we have to do is review and approve the 3 sets of minutes that I have sent out. I hope that the 2 of you got those.
Yep.
And did you see, and since I've typed them up, I find absolutely nothing wrong with them. So let me know if there's do you see anything that needs to be changed or amended?
I didn't see anything.
Okay,
No.
in that case, I will go for uniformity and condensing things and accept a motion to accept all of them, all 3 minutes as submitted.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
A second.
Okay. All in favor? Yay. Yes, aye. Okay. Okay. That was easy enough. Does anybody have anything additional they want to bring up other than I will add that we will introduce John. I will introduce you to the rest of the group a little later in the meeting and let them know how about that lovely chat that we had a couple months ago. So we have a new town planner. I invited her to the meeting this evening. She said she's sorry, but she's in conflict because she's at the Board of Selectmen's meeting. And I sent back to her that, yeah, that's why we're actually working to change our meeting dates. And I have a meeting scheduled with her for 9 o'clock Wednesday morning to discuss what the Conservation Commission has been up to and how things have functioned in the town up to this point. Because the next two, the application reviews, she's asked me to table the review of applications that I had in the minutes or in the agenda because they had not been formally referred by a commission or town staff. So we have to go, we're going to go back over that. I'm going to go back over how that's worked in the past with her and see what we need to set up. Does anybody have anything they would like me to address with the town planner, our new town planner? They are also the job description and call for applications has already gone out for the environmental planner. So, fingers crossed that's going to be happening quickly.
Have you been able to be included in that part?
I have not been, it was not included in the job description or the putting it out, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to review some applications. I do not know if I'm going to have to do that, ask that via her or via HR, but I'm, yes, going to try and get my face into that committee.
When you meet with Erin, you'll talk to me about that.
I will ask her about that. And if she says it's up to HR, I will wander down the hall to HR. Okay. Anything else that we might want to talk about with the town planner? Couple things I'm thinking about is the upcoming update of the plan of conservation and development. And trying to pass off the responsibility for the sustainable CT report.
To another committee?
Yeah, to the town planner who had it the last time. I'll be happy to help, but I really don't want to be the person in charge. So we will still be definitely involved with the primary for the section that is on natural resources, but the other things like the arts and bicycles and things like that, affordable housing, I'm thinking would be better managed by somebody else. So no thoughts?
No, nothing else.
Okay. So then, as I just said, we were asked to table doing formal application reviews, but I just want to let you know that there's an application in front of Inland Wetlands for a 3-unit subdivision, basically that runs on a piece of property that goes catty corner from Wildwood Avenue to sheep pasture. It's down just off the East River. So it's actually depending on how they're sloping it, may be getting a coastal site plan review as well. And then the property at 35 Cottage has come, that was turned down for, I forget if it was, I think it was apartments, is coming in for a slightly different design. And so that's also in front of inland wetlands. And there's an affordable housing application for a parcel on Scotland Avenue that appears to be in the planning process. So it's six units on a half an acre, right next to the baseball field down there. So I'm actually, having looked at it and realized that it was the one north of the baseball field instead of south of the baseball field, said that might not be so bad. See, when you come off, you're coming along the railroad, and then Scotland takes a turn down. It's actually the second house on the left. It's a little
red house. Yeah.
little red thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do not know where that is in its process, but I'm assuming it's in front of planning and zoning or something like that. So, so I'll be discussing, that is one of the things I will also be discussing with Aaron, is timing of the, how we get to look at applications. Because I think the chair of the Inland Wetlands Agency agrees with me that we have provided them with much valuable input over the years. And is ready for
I think
it
it's
to go with.
interesting, like, so a citizen
Mhm.
can write a letter and make a comment, but we cannot.
I guess that's a very good question. And that's why I want to have the discussion is with her, is because we did actually have to go through that. We slogged that out with planning and zoning about 10 years ago. And they had given us the blanket, to review whatever we felt like, and then it got narrowed down, but we still had a list of things that, like, if it requires a coastal site plan review, if it is is a subdivision, if it's on a property that is more than a certain number of acres, we saw it automatically. And as you all are well aware, nothing has been really submitted to, I think we've had one application forwarded to us for review since Bob Cookta retired.
Yeah, I feel like it's been years since we've
Yes,
looked at
it's been well over a year. So we'll move. So those are the things that I will move forward on with her. But anyway, it looks like development is starting to warm up again, because it's three subdivision or multi-unit applications in a month. So, okay, so Bower Park debrief, but we were all there. So I thought it went well.
I thought so too. I think there were so many people there.
And I thought we got a really good diverse range of people as well, which I think we had cross-pollination. We did have cross-pollination with the other festival in town that day. And we had a lot of really interested people, I thought. Okay. And Ted was very touched by the Jones Bones sign. So, so I guess to think about what worked and what didn't work, I think we had people accessing through the QR code. I had a whole bunch of people that took pictures of that, so I'm hoping that, I think that worked out well. I think that I'm going to have to talk to Ted Rahman or somebody and get into the shed there and see how the tree cookie is doing. As I recall, 2 years ago, it needed some cleaning up and restringing for the dates, and I don't want to lose track of that. If we could actually find a permanent place for it to be displayed, that would be really cool. I wonder if they'd put it in the library.
Ooh.
Yeah. or in Memorial Town Hall. Oh, the archives. I wonder if they'd
What?
put it in the hall, in between, in the bottom Memorial Town Hall, between the archives and the land trust office.
Oh, the older one.
The old
Okay.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that needs to not necessarily stay in the shed.
Yeah.
No, critters will get into it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Having had that thought, let me write it down, or I 8:30.
Yeah, I've got that here in the minutes.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and I think that next year maybe we can do invasive animals. Since I've just
That'd be
somebody
cool.
keeps selling.
Oh.
Whoops.
Right.
Somebody's been telling me about all the jumping worms they have in their yard, and I'm like, I kind of want to see
Yeah.
those.
I've kind of,
kinda
well,
wanna
I'm
see
sure we
those.
have them. I think we all have them at this point.
Oh. Right.
I haven't
Right.
looked. I'm gonna look, honestly, because I don't know what to do anyway. So
Right. Yeah, as long as they're there, it's not like you're getting rid of them. My understanding is that they really are bigger and more aggressive than the original invasive earthworm. So I haven't had anything jump out at me yet, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Okay, so the next thing I have, this is going to be another quick and simple meeting, I hope. The next thing I have on the agenda is the sustainable CT updates, which is where I will introduce the two of you to John Lamazo. He came to a meeting we had at the end of July, where I was I and the interns were the only ones that came. So we had a really, really nice conversation about recycling. So John, if you'd like to tell Christine and Alex a little bit about what you're interested in doing with it.
Well, I was just proposing that I'd like to see a better guide in terms of recycling. You know, when it used to be CRAI, I had called and gotten some details on specific good and bad practices. And when Willimantic took over from the Guilford transfer station, I called them and I got about 10 minutes of their time. And the lady got frustrated. I was asking too many questions, even though a lot of the questions I asked were not on their website, such as shredded paper. She said, put in a clear plastic bag, which of course, when I went to a transfer station, they're like, no plastic bags. I'm like, no, they said it was okay. And they're like, really? And things like, you know, balling your tinfoil into as big a ball as possible so it doesn't get lost. And I don't know, there were some things they said I think were wrong. I don't think I was talking to there is a recycling coordinator at Willimantic, but I left a couple of messages and I never received a call back. But so there were some things they said that didn't make sense, but that's okay. But I just would like to see a much more comprehensive list. I know there's something the state of Connecticut did, assuming that that's universal, which I'm not sure it is. It might be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just, there's a lot of stuff that I rinse and put in the bin that, you know, I think is okay, but, you know, I'm not sure, you know. And it just seems like it would be nice. Actually, I think it would be nice if there was somewhere where you can go and look at pictures that would say yes or no, you know, to make it even easier for people to tell. And maybe just sometimes an explanation of why you're doing stuff. Because I think sometimes it's if you're trying to learn. I mean, I've been doing recycling for probably 45 years. I first did it where on a Saturday you would drive up to a bin and you had to smash the glass. I was one of the guys who would take a box from you and go over to a big dumpster, and there was a large area for white glass, a small area for green, and a tiny one for brown. And I would actually stand there and smash the bottles with goggles on. And we took newspapers if they were bundled, and that was, and I guess cans, right?
Mhm.
But this was literally 45 years ago, and it's come a long way. It used to be pretty simplistic. Now I think there's a lot of stuff that I stand there and go, should I put it in the bin or in the garbage, you know? And
Right.
it just, if I think for people who really want to do it right, it would help. Like someone like me, if they wanted to spend the time. And maybe a lot of people don't, which I get, but I think if you do, if it would be nice if you had a more complete list.
All right. So, I agree with all of that because I stand over my recycling bin all the time with the black plastic that's not, it says it's a number 6, but it's really a little foamier than usual.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I
Yes.
really put it in?
Yeah,
And as you
Mhm.
said, when we were talking a couple months ago, it's like sometimes they say black plastic's okay and other times they say it's not.
right,
Right.
So,
right.
I agree with that. I did meet a couple weeks ago with the Eco Club, and they're currently working on a butterfly garden, but they're going to have that done soon. So this, I think that putting something together on recycling might be a really good winter project for them.
Yeah,
Um, so I'm going to talk to Mrs. Bracco again and see how many of them are interested.
I
I
mean,
also, yeah.
I was just thinking maybe, I don't know if Willimantic, if we could get to the right person at Willimantic to maybe either let us go up there and talk to them or have a call with them, but maybe we could ask a lot of questions, but
Mhm.
document it and maybe have them review it before. And I also
Right.
don't know if their contract is going to be valid for a while or if they might be switching, because I know each vendor has slightly different rules.
Yeah, I don't know that either, but I do know that there is a brand new solid waste disposal committee that is a joint between Madison and Guilford. I found it on the town website
Oh,
today. So
Wait, brand new what? Solid waste
it's the Solid
disposal?
Waste Disposal Committee.
hmm,
Oh, between
Because
Branford and Guilford? I mean, Guilford
now
and Madison.
between Guilford and Madison, yes,
Hmm.
because we are,
Because we share.
that we do share it. It has been regional, but they're trying to do something more formal and actually have like an oversight committee.
hmm.
So that would be, they listed committee members.
Oh,
So
okay.
I will, Joe, if you want to get in touch with them, but I will also, John, rather, I will also put out a feeler to the members. There's 3 Madison and 3 Guilford members. Put out
Oh, okay.
a feeler to the Madison members
Yeah.
about what they are doing.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because I've been trying to. It's funny because when they switched to Willimantic, they still had the old sign up for what you could recycle from the Connecticut Resource Recovery. And I actually
Right.
printed some of the pamphlets online from Willimantic and actually brought some to a copy to the town hall because they still, for months, they had the old version
Oh,
on the website. So it's always seems to be behind. And
right,
even at the transfer station, what they had was older. So
right. Well, this is actually also something that I will bring up with the new town planner because if the town's doing this and we're moving towards sustainability,
hmm,
how we're dealing with the solid waste is actually an issue
Mhm.
yeah.
and keeping it up to date.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I'll try to find out who's on that and reach out to them too.
Yeah. Of course, I literally looked at every single committee in town today, so I don't remember. But I was trying to put together a calendar of when there are free days
Oh, okay.
and
That
the
makes sense.
meetings. And I saw that one. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
haven't heard of that before. And when I clicked on it, it's like new. And it was like all
Hmm.
that was on it was, if you want to be a member,
Hmm.
apply here. But then they had a list of members. So I
Hmm.
guess they haven't updated. didn't say when they're
Interesting.
meeting or anything yet.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, so that actually is something that, and I saw Danielle Bush, our former member, at the Pride Fest last Saturday after I left the Borough Park Festival, and we both were reminded that she owes me material on the cloth recycling and the Blue Earth composting that she had been pulling together. So now that I have, I will need to talk to her about that or email her another reminder because it's been a week. So. So, but yeah, I agree. This is something that I think a lot of people in town do and are interested in doing, and especially if we could do some. I always like the educating down at the younger end because it's always the kids can always guilt their parents into not putting the stuff into the trash can.
Yeah.
Or they can at least try. It
Yeah.
worked. I've seen it work. So, okay. So in terms of any of the other sustainable CT stuff, I actually will ask Sophia when she's gotten past trying to figure out how to get to a funeral, whether it's time to move the anti-idling signs now again. And I have put a call into the Chamber of Commerce to talk to the new person about some of the stuff that Peggy Lyons had recommended that I talked to the chamber about. But yeah, I'm willing to talk to them. I'm just hoping I'm going to be able to push the actual construction of the report off on, as I said, another town staff rather than the volunteer. So, okay, that brings us to, or did I miss it? I put it on there somewhere. The updated
Number 8.
Number is number 8. Hopefully the schedule.
Yes.
Changing the date. Excellent. I didn't write it on my cheat sheet. Okay, so as I said, I went through today, and it's not going to show, so it's not going to do any good. But I literally went through the town web listing of all of the boards and all of the committees to put together a calendar to figure out where there were dates. And surprisingly to me, there are 4 dates in town where there are no meetings or there is a meeting every other month. And that is the 4th Tuesday, the 1st Wednesday, the 2nd Wednesday, and the 4th Thursday. We had originally been talking about when maybe having an alternating Wednesday and Thursday thing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking actually that the 1st Wednesday puts us in between the Inland Wetlands meeting and the Planning and Zoning meeting. But the 2nd one would put us after both of those, so that anything that happened could be done on that date. But then the 4th Thursday would get us to we'd be able to react to anything that happened at Planning and Zoning, and we'd be able to respond to the next month's Inland Wetlands meeting. So my proposal would be that we might change our meetings to the 2nd Wednesday and the 4th Thursday of any given month.
Okay, so there were it was those 3. It was the 1st Wednesday, the 2nd Wednesday.
The 4th Tuesday and the 4th Thursday.
Oh. Okay.
So those are the 4 days. There's also the 3rd Monday, but we were trying to get away from Monday. So
Right.
the only one thing that meets on Monday is the Veterans Commission. But I guess if we continue to meet on that 3rd Monday, we would, but I don't like it. I really like the idea of meeting after the Inland Wetlands Agency in the month and before the 3rd week of the Planning and Zoning.
So So you think the first Wednesday and the fourth Thursday would be the best?
Well,
Is that
would
what
we,
you're saying?
no, I'm thinking actually, quiet. I'm thinking actually the second Wednesday and the fourth Thursday, so that we keep the spread, because if we met on the first Wednesday and the fourth Thursday, we might end up like in back-to-back weeks occasionally.
Mhm.
I also talked to Lauren Rhines about what we would have to do to change our meeting dates. And she said, basically, we would just have to vote on it and then send a message to the meetings website, link at the website, and put in the new dates. Or given that it's already the end of October, when we meet in December to set up next year's schedule, we can just set it up with the new dates.
Yeah, that
So
sounds easier, doesn't it?
I think that sounds a lot easier.
We only
We'll
have
be doing,
like 3 months.
because we would do that the first meeting in December, and that's, 3 meetings away.
Right, and we only have 3 more meetings for the year.
Right.
maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
So this time I think we have to vote on it. Yes, we have a quorum. There's only 5 members right now. So I will make a motion that we change our meeting dates to the second Wednesday and the fourth Thursday of the months, except for November, when that will be Thanksgiving.
mhm.
So that is my motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All in favor? Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, passing unanimously. Okay. So after that, I don't think I have anything. Did I have anything else on the agenda? Because I'm looking at my scribbled copy, not the official one.
No,
No, okay. So John, are we interesting?
Yeah.
We're looking for 2 more commission members. Placing a preference on people, according to the town charter, we have to place a preference at this point on people who are Republican, and I personally want people that live south of Green Hill, because right now all of our members live Opening Hill and North Opening Hill and above.
Oh, I'm probably not qualified. I'm by the circle, so.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're
Yeah.
close to me.
Yes.
You're close. Actually, you're close to all of us.
right, yeah,
Oh,
pretty close to the circle. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the only other thing. We've still got to figure out how to get a couple more people back on the commission. But other than that, I will take a motion to adjourn. Actually put a date time down this time.
All right, I move we adjourn.
Okay. I will second tonight. All in favor, say aye.